Level 1. $100. The check cashing clerk. You are short $100 at a check cashing store on Market Street in Newark, New Jersey. In 9 years, you will be short $10 billion, and the FBI will count it for you. You're 24. $11 an hour, counting other people's money behind bulletproof glass. Your own account is overdrawn by $61. Friday rush. The drawer comes up 100 short. 9 hours of your pay, gone in one count. Marcus owns the store, and 8 more like it. He docks your check in front of the whole line. Then he says it loud enough for the parking lot. You count other people's money, because nobody on earth would trust you with your own. A woman with a stroller laughs. That night you fix it. Not the 100, the paper. One fake line in the store's books and everything balances. It takes 4 seconds. Nobody checks. On the walk home you buy a spiral notebook at the bodega, $1.29. You write the true number on page 1. In 9 years, blue windbreakers will carry boxes out of a tower with your name in the lobby. Marcus will be wearing a microphone for them. The FBI will want the notebook more than the money. Page 1 is the only honest thing you ever wrote. Why is it the thing that ends you? Level 2. $1,000. The rice is still cooking when you break your first promise. You're at the kitchen table of your Jersey City apartment, doing sidebooks for neighborhood people, and the math will not cooperate. You promised a school janitor 10% on his $800. The market gave you 3. Tonight he's coming for his money, proud of himself for the first time in years. So you cover the gap with another man's deposit, a bus driver's $400, sitting in the same shoebox. You slide $70 from one envelope to the other at your own kitchen table. The problem is gone. The janitor shakes your hand twice on the way out. You're the only guy who ever made me money. He says it in the doorway, loud, so the hallway hears. The bus driver calls the next day to thank you for taking him on at all. You pay one man with another man's money. Both of them thank you. Sit with that. It's the whole machine. It fit in a shoebox. Sunday there's a block party on your street, grills out, a hydrant dripping. Somebody's aunt introduces you as the guy who's good with money. Your checking account is overdrawn by $61. You nod like a man with a system. Marcus, you hear, is opening store number 10 in Elizabeth. He tells your old coworkers you got fired over the drawer. You let it stand. Here's what you can't see. The janitor's money moved through a bank, and a computer there noticed something it didn't like. The computer filed a form with your name on it. Automatically. No human deciding anything. That form landed on a federal pile 2 million forms tall. Nobody will read it. Not this year. Not for a long time. The FBI is 9 years behind you. They don't know your name. In 9 years they will read every page of the notebook in your kitchen drawer. Tonight, page 2 takes 4 seconds. The true number, the janitor's name, the bus driver's name, written small and straight. You tell yourself the page is a plan. Pay everyone back, close the books, walk away clean. A plan you'll start next month. You've told yourself that about the gym too. Then Friday comes back around, the way Fridays do. The janitor's brother-in-law shows up at your apartment door with an envelope. $1,000 folded in a rubber band. Most of a paycheck from the port. He heard about the 10%. He wants the same deal. His words, the same deal. You look at the envelope and see the $70 hole it will quietly fill. You look at his face and see the janitor's handshake. There's a version of you that says no. That version goes quiet in the doorway, between one breath and the next, and never speaks again. You take the envelope. You write his name in the notebook, under the others. Page 2 is filling up. He thanks you on the way down the stairs. Everybody thanks you. That's the part nobody warns you about. Fraud doesn't feel like taking. It feels like being useful. The rice burned an hour ago. You eat it anyway, doing tomorrow's math in the margin of a takeout menu. The math says you need one more envelope to stay even. The math will say that every day for 9 years. Level 3. $10,000. The statements come out of a copy shop on Kennedy Boulevard, 40 cents a page. Cream paper, a logo you built in an afternoon, columns of numbers that never happened. They look more real than you do. 6 families are in now. $10,000 of church money, port money, overtime money. And you've invented a product to hold it. The steady 12. 1% a month, every month. Never a down month. Not once, not ever. Real investing has bad months. That's how you know it's real. You've promised these people weather with no rain, and they love you for it. A retired crossing guard asks how it works. You say the word positions. She nods. Everybody nods. Nobody asks twice, because the paper is cream-colored and the number only moves up. At a backyard cookout in Newark, somebody's cousin introduces you to Sarah. Smiles easy, misses nothing. She asks what you do. I manage money, you say. And for the first time, the sentence fits like a suit that was cut for you. Sarah asks her second question, the way you'll learn she asks everything. Flat. Whose? You fall for her on the spot, which is inconvenient. 2 weeks later, the machine coughs for the first time. The janitor needs $2,000 back, today. His roof gave out over the kitchen, and the $2,000 isn't there, because it already moved somewhere else in the shoebox. You don't sleep for 2 nights. Then a new deposit lands, a cousin of the bus driver, and you hand the janitor his roof money out of it. Same day. Cash. Handshake. By Sunday, the whole block knows. You're good for it. The one moment the whole thing nearly cracked is now your best advertisement. The trap dressed up as a win, and everybody clapped. Here's a number you learn without anyone teaching you. Banks report cash deposits over $10,000 to the government, so yours arrive at 9,800, 96, a haircut under, every time. You have never met an FBI agent. You are already arranging your life around them. Your sister Lily's birthday card shows up that week. Lily is 23, a first-year teacher in Patterson. She's taped a brass subway token inside, same as every year since you left for the city. For the ride home, she writes. Same 4 words, every year. You tape the token to page 3 of the notebook, next to the true number. The true number is not 10,000. It stopped being the real total a while ago. $10 billion from now. A man in a courtroom will read this page out loud. Tonight it's a token and some honest arithmetic in a kitchen drawer. Sarah comes by with folding chairs for your first client meeting. 6 families in your living room. Cream statements on their laps. Applause when you finish talking. She watches you take questions from the doorway. After, out on the stoop, you tell her about the janitor's roof. The loan you floated from the business, paid right back, all squared. You tell it like a funny story. She says it flat, the way she says all the true things. Paid back isn't put back. She kisses you goodnight anyway. That's the part that should scare you. Level 4. $100,000. The office is 1 room above a bodega in Jersey City. Fake wood desk, real phone, a window that studies a brick wall. 41 names in the notebook now. On the desk sits a letter from the state of New Jersey, a registration questionnaire for your fund. Boxes to check, records to attach, a signature line under the word certify. This is the moment a smarter system catches you, right here, while the hole is still the size of a used car. Instead, you spend 1 afternoon at the printer, making paper that says the money is real. Statements, confirmations, a balance from a bank account that closed last spring. You mail it flat and clean. 6 weeks later, a postcard comes back. Registration accepted. A checkbox asked if you were honest. You checked yes. That was the audit. Nobody behind that checkbox ever looks. You know that now, the way you know the drawer trick works. Knowing it changes you more than the money has. The neighborhood changes too. You stop getting invited to things and start getting handed things at them. At a christening in Newark, the baby's grandfather presses a retirement envelope into your chest during the pictures. At a graduation party in a church basement, a retired nurse hands you her buyout check between the cake and the speeches. You're not a guest anywhere anymore. You're a stop on people's errands. In October, you marry Sarah at City Hall in Jersey City. 12 people on the steps after, squinting into the sun. Lily takes the pictures on a disposable camera and pays for the prints herself. She refuses gas money. She refuses everything. She always has. Marcus, you hear, is down to 6 stores. The state capped the fees he charges broke people, and the caps are eating his chain storefront by storefront. Your mother mentions it on the phone, almost gently. You feel something you don't name. That winter, in the office, Sarah asks the reasonable question. The desk, the phone, the printer that cost more than your first car. What's the rent on all this? The true answer, the janitor's roof fund and the crossing guard's church money, moved through the shoebox into a lease. What you say is, the management fee covers it. It's the first flat lie you've told her face. It goes down easy. That's the finding nobody warns you about. After the first one, they all go down easy. Meanwhile, at a bank you'll never visit, a computer files another form with your name on it. There are 3 of them now in the federal pile. Filed, stamped, unread. The FBI is 6 years behind you. Then the office phone rings with a Manhattan number. A real estate developer, friend of a client's dentist. The chain of respectability you've been forging link by link without touching it. He's heard about the steady 12. He doesn't want in for 1,000. He wants in for $500,000. He pronounces it $500,000, like a sandwich order. You look around the one room above the bodega. The brick wall. The fake wood grain peeling at the corner. Money like that doesn't climb these stairs. You'll have to move the lie somewhere with a lobby. Level 5. $1 million. The money wanted a Manhattan zip code, so you gave it one. Midtown office. Granite lobby. Your name in brushed steel behind the front desk. The furniture is borrowed against a 5-year lease. So are you. $1 million of other people's money now. And the trick that grows it is beautiful, because it costs nothing. You invent a waiting list. There is no list. There's a legal pad with a column of names you wrote yourself, some from a baby name book. But you tell the developer the fund is closed for the quarter, and by Friday 4 of his friends have called, offended, demanding in. People beg to give you money now. The begging is your best salesman, and it works for free. Nobody begs at a bank. That detail should tell everyone everything. It tells them nothing. You hire Nikki off a temp agency to answer the phones. Nikki is 24, from Staten Island, and watches mob documentaries the way other people watch cooking shows. Within a month, she reads callers better than you do. Which ones are scared money? Which ones are bored money? Which ones just want somebody to know their name? One night, locking up, she grins at the brushed steel letters and asks, "Is any of this real?" She's the only person in the building who hopes the answer is no. You laugh it off. You remember it forever. Your sister Lily calls on a Sunday. She has $3,000 saved, her first real cushion, and she wants in. Not for the returns. She says it plain. She wants to be part of the thing her brother built. You tell her the fund is closed to family. Compliance rules, you say. The official word does the work. Official words always do. It's the first good thing you've done in years, and you did it by lying. Lily hears distance. You can't explain that it was the opposite of distance. Uptown, in a federal building you've never once noticed, a junior analyst spends a weekend with your returns. Somebody mailed in a statement as a brag. The analyst charts the steady 12 and writes a memo with a phrase that should end you, "Too smooth to be real." A supervisor reads the memo Monday, between meetings. No victim, no complaint, no budget. The memo goes into a drawer. The analyst asks twice. She's told to work real cases. She keeps her copy. You never know how close that came. That night, in the granite lobby, you learn to hold a wine glass by the stem. Marcus is down to 3 stores. He calls the office once. Nikki offers to take a message, and he hangs up somewhere inside the hold music. Sarah stays late one night helping you stuff envelopes. Honest work with dishonest paper. Statements for 100 names now. She looks at the marble, the steel, the borrowed chairs, and says it flat, the way she says all the true things. Nobody audits a winner. She means it as a warning. Every salesman you'll ever hire would use it as the pitch. Here's the arithmetic you keep, where the notebook keeps its numbers. The steady 12 pays out $10,000 a month in pretend growth, and pretend growth is paid in real money. The gap is fed with new deposits, and the gap only grows. Growth isn't ambition anymore. It's oxygen. Level 6. $10 million. 2 FBI agents sit in your Manhattan conference room on a Tuesday morning, and you are explaining the weather to them. Cold front coming. Flight delays. Everyone laughs politely. They're here because a rival money manager mailed 9 pages to the government proving your returns cannot exist. He charted the steady 12 against 30 years of markets. Nothing real is that smooth, he wrote. He's right. But the agents aren't accountants, and they're carrying 9 cases each. You hand them forged confirmations in a leather folder and a story about conservative positioning, and you watch their shoulders drop by page 3. 1 hour. They thank you for your time. The file gets a word stamped on it. Unsubstantiated. Your hands don't shake until the elevator. Then comes the thing you don't expect. Brighter than fear, and worse. Pride. You beat them at a table, in person, with paper you printed yourself. You liked it. That's this level. Not the money. The moment federal agents felt like a sales call. The FBI is 3 years behind you. For 60 minutes, they were across the table. The machine needs feeding, so you've hired closers, 6 kids with commission grins, and Nikki runs them. She came for the phones and stayed for the story. She sells the fund the way you no longer can, like she's telling it around a fire. Best month on the floor, twice running. She also leases a white BMW on a salary that doesn't cover it. Like the fund does it, she laughs, tossing the fob onto her desk. You hear your own voice come out of her mouth, the exact pitch of it. You say nothing. The floor runs on her fire. You just check your own reflection more that week. In the elevator doors, in the conference glass. A closer signs a retirement group from Bayonne. Another lands a union local. The notebook can't sit in a desk drawer anymore, so you buy a small fireproof box with a key. The honest pages go in under the lease papers. That's the first time you've hidden it instead of kept it. There's a difference. You feel the difference in your hands. Marcus is down to one store. The original one. Yours. He works the counter himself now, Sundays included. Somebody from the old block texts you a picture. Marcus behind the same bulletproof glass, grayer, making change for the Friday line. You look at the picture longer than you mean to. You don't delete it. This year's card from Lily sits unopened in your desk drawer, token still inside. You were traveling on your birthday. You keep meaning to open it. Sarah finds the key. Not the box, just the key, small and new on your ring, and she asks what it opens. Receipts, you say. Second flat lie. They don't get harder. That's the horror of it. They get administrative. At night, at the kitchen table, you do this level's real math. $10 million in. The steady 12 owes $100,000 a month in pretend growth, paid in real money. New belief is the only crop that pays it. You need 3 new Bayons a year just to stand still. Somewhere downtown, a clerk updates a federal file, fixes a typo. Your name, spelled right for the first time. Small thing, but nobody fixes a typo in a file they plan to forget. Level 7. $100 million. The market regulators come in February and stay 6 weeks. Not the FBI. The checklist people, the ones who inspect funds for a living. They set up in your conference room with laptops and burnt coffee, and they ask for everything. You give them everything. None of it is real. Trade confirmations from your own printer. Statements from a bank relationship that exists mostly as letterhead. And here's the sick gift of it. You know your lies better than they know their rules. You built every number by hand. They're inspecting a museum where you painted every painting and complimenting the brushwork. 6 weeks. Handshakes. Passed. The tower with your name in the lobby has 14 months left. Nobody in it knows that, including you. Then, on a rainy Thursday, the front desk calls up. Marcus is downstairs. 0 stores now. The state took his business model. The banks took the rest. He rides the elevator up holding a cashier's check for $1.8 million. Everything left from 30 years of other people's Fridays. He wants into the fund. He sits across your desk holding the check with both hands, and he never notices the room is a bigger version of his store. Glass between the money and the people. He asks about the steady 12. He calls you sir, and you watch him hate the word on the way out of his mouth. The line is right there. 9 years old, aged perfect, loaded. Nobody on earth would trust you with your own. You could hand it back word for word. He's been hearing it in his own head since the lobby. And there's a crueler option, the clean one. Just take the check, shake his hand, say welcome aboard, and let his $1.8 million burn with everything else when it all burns. He would never know it was you who lit it. Revenge without fingerprints. You say the fund is closed. And Marcus nods like a man hearing one more door shut in a year of doors. He leaves the way old men leave banks, slow through the lobby, buttoning his coat. You sit with your fire finally in front of you and feel nothing move. You wanted a fire. You felt arithmetic. The mercy is real, and it tastes like paperwork. That night you open the fireproof box and give Marcus his own page in the notebook, his name, and a 0. The only client you never took. Nobody will ever know it's the kindest page in the book. That's what makes it kind. Later, in the kitchen, you tell Sarah that Marcus came begging, not the rest. She says it flat. You can stop lying. The lie can't stop. At 3 a.m., Nikki calls from a holding cell in Manhattan. Bar fight. Somebody called her fund fake, and she broke a glass proving otherwise. You send the lawyer, pay the fine, tell her to sleep. She thanks you like it's a bonus. The lifestyle has started spending her. The FBI is 1 year behind you. They've stopped losing your file. And Marcus, riding down with his 1.8 million intact, does not go home. Broke men need money. Humiliated men need to matter. There's one building in this city that pays out on both. He makes one stop before the Holland Tunnel. Federal Plaza. Level 8. $1 billion. Your securities lawyer calls on a Saturday. Voice too casual. A friend of a friend in a federal office let something slip over drinks. The government has a cooperator. Somebody from Newark. Somebody from your early days. You stand in your Manhattan kitchen and do the shortest math of your life. There is exactly one somebody from Newark. Marcus calls that same week. Warm. Warm like he has never once been. He apologizes for the old days, laughs about the drawer, suggests pie at the diner on the boulevard in Newark. Just the two of you, catching up. Marcus has never apologized to anyone in his life. That's how you know what's under his shirt. You go anyway. The diner is vinyl booths and rain light. Marcus is already there, sitting too straight, coffee untouched, one hand flat on the table like he's holding it down. A man wearing a microphone sits like a man balancing a book on his head. You have 2 knives on you, and you know exactly where they are. You could lean in and say his own line back, 9 years aged, straight into the microphone. Let a room of agents hear you win. Or the quieter knife. Talk about weather for an hour. Give the wire nothing. Let the FBI decide their cooperator is worthless. They'd drop him. His last deal in this world would close like his stores did. You order 2 slices of pie instead. For an hour you talk about the old store. The Friday lines. The radio jingle. Marcus sings 2 bars of it. And for 1 second under the diner light he's an old man who was proud of something once. You never mention money. Not once. Not sideways. Then you pay the whole check, the way he once docked yours. You wanted a fire, once. You bought pie for the man taping you. That same month, one of your outside salesmen, the kind who raises fund money in the suburbs, starts pitching a teacher's retirement group in Patterson. The paperwork crosses your desk on a Thursday. Third name on the sign-up sheet, Lily, $38,000. Her whole cushion, riding toward you. You kill the deal with 1 phone call and no explanation. You torch the salesman's whole territory to do it. Walk away from $4 million in other commitments, and don't blink. Lily only hears the outside of it. Her big brother's fund looked at her people and said, too small. Her birthday card still comes that week. You open it standing at the kitchen island. No token. First time in 9 years. Just happy birthday in teacher's handwriting. Level and kind and closed. Sarah finds the key that weekend. This time she finds the box too. At the kitchen table she reads page 1 and sits with it a long time. $100. Pay it back Friday. She doesn't yell. She sets the notebook down the way you'd set down something breakable and says the last flat thing she'll say to you for a while. Numbers don't take a plea. Monday morning, subpoenas hit both your banks before 10. A gray sedan starts liking your block. The FBI is 90 days behind you. Level 9. $10 billion. The market dips on a Tuesday. Nothing historic. A bad week. But scared money asks questions, and questioned money asks for itself back. Redemptions. Everyone wants out at once. And here is the whole fraud. In the plain arithmetic you'll one day say out loud in a courtroom, there was never any money. There was only ever the next deposit. $10 billion of cream-colored statements, resting on the belief that nobody asks. Now everybody is asking at once. 9 days. That's what it takes to kill a machine you spent 9 years building. You watch the number fall from your corner office, the floor empty, phones ringing themselves out. Nikki goes on day 3, escorted across the office floor with a cardboard box, because her name sits on sales papers she signed without reading. The agents interview her first. The BMW goes back on a flatbed. The industry blacklists her at 28. On her way out, she stops in your doorway. Box on her hip, no grin left. She asks the old question one more time. Is any of this real? You finally answer. You were, you say. She laughs once and leaves. At a bar in Staten Island, she'll tell this story for years. Best years of her life, she'll say. And mean it. That's what the lifestyle does. It hands you things and keeps the receipt. The last morning. Your kitchen, Upper East Side, dawn. You take the notebook from the fireproof box. On the last page, you write the true final number, in the same small handwriting as page 1. Then the tokens. 8 brass subway tokens, every one Lily ever taped into a card, including the one you never opened. You tape all 8 inside a birthday card of your own. It is not her birthday. You write 4 words. For the ride home. You hear the car doors before you hear the knock. 11 minutes. The FBI is 11 minutes behind you. Then 0. They're polite. Tired. Blue windbreakers filling the doorway. A warrant read like a menu. The agent on the left wrote the too smooth memo. Years ago. She kept her copy. You hand her the notebook before the sentence ends. Page 1. $100. Pay it back Friday. You had the 100 that Friday. That's the answer the courtroom will never believe. You kept the notebook because as long as the true number existed somewhere, you weren't a liar yet. Just a man who hadn't fixed it. 9 years of Fridays, and the fix never came, and the notebook kept honest score while everything else lied. It's why the janitor, the crossing guard, the smallest names in the pile, get anything back at all. The government needed a true ledger. You'd been keeping one the whole time. On the courthouse steps, Marcus stands near the cameras. His information bought him nothing. You gave it all away for free. You pass him and give one nod. He returns it. 9 years, 2 men, 1 drawer. Sarah is not in the gallery. And in a Patterson apartment there's a card in the mail pile. 8 tokens heavy. You don't get to know if Lily opens it. That's the sentence before the sentence. It's the one you serve first. If this one stayed with you, drop a comment with where you're watching from, and subscribe for the next level.